Hello, 1 second. And then we'll do a Star Citizen. Hi. Oh no. Oh no. The wizard's curtain. Not tall enough. Hi. I'm BoredGamer. Hope you are doing well. I'm gonna be here talking about Star Citizen with my beautiful potato head. That's this. It's an egg from the front, it's a potato from the side. Beautiful. Beautiful thing. Yes, I hope everyone is doing well. I was away for the weekend. It was at my ancestral home, south of England. Like a 4.5 to 5 hour train journey for me each way. That's it can take it out of you, like, quite genuinely. But it was good. It was good to see people. Good to see my family and stuff as well. So yeah, hope everyone's been doing well. Alpha 4.0.2 looks to me like it's going to be coming out by the end of this week. So last 4.0.1 came out at the end of January. I think we'll see 4.0.2 by Thursday, probably. Thursday, Friday of this week. Probably close to Thursday. Unless they release it earlier. So this will bring to an end the fight for Pyro, and then starts Supply or Die. That'll be really interesting. And then we've got more sort of narrative events coming in the future. So for March, I would expect at the end of March, 4.0.3 with the new part of the story. In April, it looks like we're going to have a additional arc story happening. Whether or not this is going to be 2 sets of stories, both getting big updates each monthly patch, which might well be, or some of the stories might get bigger updates than others, but you've got this A story and B story both running alongside each other. And I think the B story, which is supposed to run, I believe, from April to October, is going to be, eventually at least, sandworm related. Might not be the big sandworms yet, but I do think the little ones have seen quite a lot of work, and maybe we'll see sandworm raids by the end of that narrative arc. Maybe. We'll see. Sort of interested to know what other people think. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Please feel free to ask any questions during the live stream. Question in brackets. We'll have a little chat. We'll talk to you about what I want to talk about. And yeah. I might start showing off, at least on socials, some of the bits of my house as I'm preparing them. Like, I almost got my house in order. I've got a couple of things to do in the front room to make it fully sort of man cave board game orientated. It's like you've gone into rented a private room in a board game shop. The vibe I'm going for. It's nice and neat and clean, and big gaming table, loads of board games everywhere. But I'm also getting a projector screen and projector and tablets and stuff for people to use. That you can teach games and show off games, and or have an atmosphere in the room. And the other side of the room, there's a big TV and consoles and stuff like that. Well, not consoles, but streaming to my laptop and emulators and stuff. Are you going to get the Ironclad? Good question. Probably. I really like the Ironclad. Or do you go for the Ironclad or Ironclad Assault? And really, I want to mess around with both of them and then make a decision. It's not being used for D&D yet, the table, but it is. It's a big, nice table that's suitable for board games and D&D and stuff, and even war games. So you could play 40k or something on there, or Trench Crusade or something. But I might start showing some of this stuff off on the socials, maybe some bits on the channel occasionally, especially to people that have like channel members or patrons and stuff. Just because originally BoredGamer was going to be about board games as well, and was going to be about multiple games and board games. I fell in love with Star Citizen, focused all my attention on Star Citizen, which I'm going to continue to do on the channel. We might have some other bits and bobs as well. I mean, some of the other stuff that's happened recently as well. There was loads of talk about stuff the graphics team had done and we're working on, which is great. Ali Brown, we're going, look, we're working on all these cool things. We're getting Vulkan in order. We're bringing loads of improvements to the game over time, and we're working on Blood and Gore, and there's loads of stuff he was talking about there, which was absolutely great to see. It's like a big, I wish more of the teams, their leads and stuff, took to the forums to give us those sort of updates. It's kind of what the monthly report is, but it's actually more in depth than a monthly report, just from his department, which is or his team. It was absolutely awesome to see. There was obviously a lot of was some drama over the Heartseeker kit. Basically, people going, Heartseeker kit picture that you've got only matches the Super Hornet when you put it on. You put it on another Mark II Hornet, doesn't look the same. But what's that about? I paid for it to look like this, doesn't look like that. CIG went, the ships are different sort of markups, and that's why they look different, but it looks markedly different. So CIG really need to have shared a picture of what it looked like on the other Hornets, which was all the other Hornets of the Mark IIs, or just had a full description, or both, really. Any rumblings about a Star Lancer? Oh. Not sure if people heard my doorbell then. I changed my doorbell, my smart doorbell, to say really weird stuff around the house when people are... that one is saying how much I love my mate G. Yeah, I've got business attire. I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie and a One Punch Man t-shirt. Just below that, I am wearing pajamas. So... You say, have you heard the words of our Lord and Saviour? People come to my door and they're friendly enough, I invite them in. I don't mind who they are. There was some of the guys from the local church talking to me, and then I was like, yeah, no worries. Go ahead, you can chat to me for a bit. So it breaks up my day. He looked at something and said, board games. And I went, yeah, have a look in the front room. And he looked in and went, oh my God. Blasphemy. He was a proper board gamer as well, because he was going, I played this, played that. I'm very friendly. They always want to leave after a while, but I've closed the door and locked it. How much do you love One Punch Man? Absolutely love it, but I've only seen the animation rather than read any of the webcomic or anything. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, season 1, the animation there was superb. Season 2's not as good, but I still loved it. They should just remove all the other Hornets from working with the Heartseeker thing. So they should have just gone. They're almost identical. The ships are different. They should have showed pictures of. If it looks different on any ships, have a picture of all the ships it looks different with in the main picture on the thing, and then have each individual picture showing the different ships and different variants, how it looks on all of them before you sell something. Yeah? Simple as that. If it's a skin you're selling, and it's a bit different if you're selling a concept ship, yeah, because you can say, this is what it's planning to be, this is what it looks like currently, this is where we're going with it, stuff changes. But selling a skin for a ship that's in-game now, give me all the details, we make our own decision. Don't let me have to find out in-game and go, this doesn't look the same, and CIG go, well, yes, we know it doesn't look the same. What do you mean you know it doesn't look the same? What? It's much grumpier than when I'm in the podcast. In the podcast, I'm much more mellow and defendable of it. Now I've had time to get annoyed about it. You reckon there'll be a way to claim abandoned ships by paying Alpha VC to re-register them? Yes, so, yes. They talk about doing it with stealing ships and the council, who are like the military, not pirate, this sort of illegal cabal. So you'll be able to do stuff like that or similar to that. I'm not sure exactly how and exactly what ways you'll be able to do it. You should be able to, in some way, take a ship that you have salvaged and either crush it down and remake a ship with it. Obviously, you'll need the blueprints and stuff, and you might need a load more materials, or be able to refit a ship and make it seaworthy again, space-worthy, and then almost, I believe it to be the case that you can then register or re-register it somehow. Something like that. They said that you'll be able to do that basically when you steal ships. Council, you are supposed to be able to salvage, repair, reclaim, right? Reclaimer, not just about stream salvage and the MPB, the tractor beam, the tow ship. That's supposed to be able to, reasons to bring ships back. Thank you for all the kind words and the ones about my beautiful potato head. Appreciate it. Any rumblings about a Star Lancer Explorer variant? Not that I have heard. I like the idea, though. It makes sense. Although you could probably make any of the versions more focused towards that. Yeah? Anyway. Get the right components and everything. You'll be a good amount of the way there. Since CIG released Safe Stand and Pyro events during an unplayable Tier 0 server meshing release, will they repeat these so we can actually play them? I'm not sure if they're gonna. So I would have had them. So they're going to want to push forward with these narrative things. All of the mission components, so all of the missions that you could have possibly played, will be playable in the future. Those missions with a different veneer over them, and probably improved some. But all of those mission components, all those mission pieces, will be playable in the future, if not improved already. So nothing's lost there, and you haven't missed out on anything beyond the sort of after narrative anyway. Because yes, you complete another one of these bunker missions. Yes, you complete another one of the cargo mission, and you get maybe a tiny bit of a story based on the missions you're going for. And maybe even find some data pads and stuff like that. That's one of the problems I had with with this time around, that really had to dig around for it. But with the new loading screens and CIG sort of, I think they're going to get a bit more into dragging you into the story a bit better. So you will be able to play all those sort of mission things again. I don't believe they're going to be rerunning them though. They're going to keep on pushing forward a new one. As someone who dabbles in salvage, I'm looking forward to pairing a Vulture or the new medium salvage ship. And I love the idea of running an operation from an Ironclad. I think fantastic ships. I wear a heat blanket like a tiger, which is only 100 watts compared to 1500 watt heater. Yeah, I am I am pro heated blanket in 99% of situations. I have a heated blanket for my bed. I put my house temperature down to like at 12 to 14 most of the time, even when I'm walking around the house. It's at like 14, maybe. The most my temperature will get in my house go to 16. That's a lie. At most, it will go up to like 18 when I've got guests. Oh, it's a bit chilly. Yeah, well, it's far too. It's like the Sahara Desert for me. Will running a ship's life support climate control subsystem take 15 times more energy than a player's undersuit to keep them warm? So, the idea from what I can tell about the life support systems is that they actually require effectively pretty small amounts of power, but they can only effectively generate enough oxygen for what we understand for the amount of people they can generate oxygen for. So it'll be a relatively limited amount. Almost certainly there will be at rates at which they replenish atmosphere, replenish oxygen, replenish heat and cold. I think that's pretty quick and easy, but heat and cold into somewhere that's not a vacuum. I don't think it has to match the amount of power that suit uses, right? It's more of the intention of it. When do you think we will get Intrepid variants this year? And what variants would you like to see? Do we need Intrepid variants? You could have the basic sort of like combat versus explorer versions as well, right? If you wanted, maybe we need that. Maybe we do. What is a life support system but a combo of oxygen generator and heat pump? Well, it's not just oxygen, is it? It's atmosphere, and it's the ability to move that atmosphere from one area to another or remove it. And I suppose filter out toxic things. I suppose potentially also life support is also fire suppression systems. I believe your fire extinguishers get refilled based on your life support systems being on, I think. But you're looking at the wrong camera. What? Sorry, I'm pretty tired today. It's because I've been away for the weekend. Will this winter stop? I've had nothing on the Apollo Medivac since I bought it back in 2018. Is there any way I can go to see the status of the ships? So, you can go to the ship matrix, but at the moment it's just going to say in concept or in development. The Apollo is currently being worked on. It was at least teased at CitizenCon in October as one of the ships they were working on. We should have a roadmap update later this week, which might give us some more indications what exactly is being worked on. I would expect to see the Apollo later this. I think there's a high likelihood we'll see it later because the medical gameplay has already got some flesh to its bones. Do they need the drones to release the Apollo? Maybe. Yes, CO2 scrubbing. I think you're going to be replacing subcomponents in life support systems as well, in a similar way to fuses, but for basically scrubbers. Just really want waypoint markers to work better. Yeah, set up custom waypoints better, share them, save locations, sell locations, or at least share them, right? Like, amazing. Because basically, when you've got that, you've got a massive step towards exploration and organization in game. Like, there's loads of stuff you can do with that. And it seems pretty simple, right? Salvaging through contracts needs to be worked on because those contracts have side arms concerns and can't use much. Our quest givers finally leaving quests. Lots of missions work, but not all of them. Very much so. There are still problems. Missions sort of progressing in some cases or not being completable. There are issues with quest givers not giving missions like the givers. There's lots of stuff like that. A lot of it works a lot of the time now. Mission givers are a problem, have been for ages. Be a version of the Ironclad that could has a signature called the Mimic. So I think you'll be able to do sort of stuff like that with e-warfare and potentially mess around with your signals, make yourself look like a much larger thing or a smaller thing if you want to, or with a different type of ship signature. Also, I think you'll see Q ships in game. So basically ships that are pretending to be trade or cargo vessels to attract pirates and are actually ships of war. I can't wait for more FPS weapons in game. I know the Vault is coming out soon. That's what they said. But they haven't mentioned after that. So they did say that they're going to be bringing more FPS weapons and gear to the game after or including the Vault, as well as the Vault. No, you should be getting a load more FPS weapons. See Twitch chat for my other questions. How much do you know / can you say about the 600i update? So I don't know much actually. I know they were working on it, and I do not know if they are still working on the variants rework, the reworked 600i. I believe they are. That's what they're working with. Origin stuff that they've been working on. I don't think it's a new ship. And I'm hoping we'll see it later this year. But we didn't see it teased at CitizenCon, which was a shame, right? But I'll have to wait and see. It's one of the things I literally don't know. Speaking of Recon UEC, do you think its use will ever be expanded? So I think that there'll be lots more stuff to use Recon effectively within the testing of spaceships. I'll test this ship out. So you'll go to a ship shop and test that ship by basically spending rec, and then use their sim pod for it, right? Things like that, and they'll use rec file stuff. Like rec might be a currency for arcade games, and Arena Commander there might be loads more Arena Commander modes and stuff like that. I missed from earlier. I know a lot of people have not been able to complete those first 2 sets of events. BRB, it's all go today. Oh yeah, G is best. Well, it was a delivery of a board game. I bought board game called Dragon Eclipse. from actually from another YouTuber randomly. I'm sure it's available in this country yet. The most Pokemon-esque multiplayer game. It looks really cool. Big as well. It's heavy. What do you think of your spawn moving from a temporary bed that's unavailable to your permanent spawn instead of default initial spawn? Oh. I want to be able to choose when I log in, basically what I was doing while I was offline. So I want to be able to go start in my home hab. I want to start in my home hangar. I want to start in my current spawn where I currently am, or something like. So to give me a choice of reasonable options based on their distance to me and what I could have been doing in my downtime. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe it does. And within a home within the location of, with the location you are, maybe choosing where to start within that location. So if I'm on Hurston, I can choose to start in Ab or in the in my hangar, something like that. Maybe. I like that question. I'm late. Did you talk about PvE servers? I've not talked about the PvE server stuff yet. Zin and I talk about it at length today because she's certainly not against PvE servers. She's pretty pro them. Whereas I think that anything PvE versus PvP can be dealt with in game. Having the right systems with the right laws and the right gameplay and all that sort of stuff keep everyone happy. In the shorter term, I can understand what people say with the PvEs. However, do you think it separates the player base? We need those other systems to come into play. Which hopefully will all be done not too distant future. You got Pyro now, right? Pyro, very much. Very suitable location for mostly PvP play. You can do PvE stuff, but you might have to be aware that you're going to have to run or hide or engage in PvP. You're aware of that. In Stanton, you should be pretty safe from it. Unless you go into very certain areas, which you should then be aware of. You're going into an area where PvP. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. Will we get Apollo's cockpit class have no struts? Some struts. I don't know. Don't know what it looks like currently. Happy Monday. Everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining me today. Talk about some starters and stuff. Please ask some questions. That's my content. You don't need to give money or anything to do that, or donate or whatever. You know, just ask a question. I'll come to it eventually. With features on hold, do you think smaller features will make it in live scanning updates? So they are, to me, are not features. They are an expansion. They're an expansion of a current feature, which falls within the content category. At least that's what I assume, right? It's like, so updating a load of stuff, updating the star map, updating whatever. As long as it's not this huge rework, maybe sometimes even relatively big, is content rather than. New features would be adding, hacking, engineering, stuff like that. And features aren't on hold, they're just coming slower. I think we'll see an update on the gold standard for the Cutlass Black. And why do you think it's taking so long for the starter ship to get the live reserves? Might not appear in Squadron 40 too much. Stuff like that, right? gold standard ships are typically prioritized. Necessary updates and updates for squadron. So, I mean, I expect it to get done pretty soon. You shouldn't. I don't believe at any point we'll have full ability to sections of our hull and replace them. Although I do expect to see ships like that in game with like the ship jackers. Some of the ships, squadron I believe, are like, sort of like ships are literally cut up and stuck together. Anyone figuring out how to reset the Heartseeker turret? Still can't get it work. I don't know about that problem. Take care, Wiley, mate. Fancy. I'm talking about spawn from dying, not logging in. Guys should be able to go back to the place you set your spawn to if nursery isn't available. I agree with that. You should have a choice. That's why I'd like to see a choice. Especially if you're currently unavailable for whatever reason. Wait a little bit, mate. Would you be okay with you player being played by AR while you're offline? Maybe. I could see the argument for you're in a city and you log out, have that person become AI, so they can walk off into a spawn locker, disappear, right? Effectively. Otherwise, you have people standing there for a second, disappearing, or supposed to disappearing when you go around a corner or whatever. Well, you mentioned the not Lego, and I mentioned it a lot more in Kickstarter. I mentioned a lot more in the video I did podcast. So, people are asking questions about its legitimacy, if it might get taken down by CIG. From what I understand, it is a community project that has a limited license from CIG, as I understand it. I've not verified that. That's what it suggests on the Kickstarter, I believe. I'll be very careful what I say, just in case it's all wrong. I have backed with a Gladius. As far as I'm aware, it has been okayed by CIG to do that. Not 100% sure, not fully privy. It's certainly not Lego either. The brick toy model from Sumo something, Sumo Brick or something, but Sumo Brick, something like that. Clicked into it earlier. They'd originally reached out to Lego. Be aware, all designs of these ships are Malaman's originals. Campaign is a community project, not affiliated with CI. All materials used are top grade. Again, not Lego sets, detailed instruction, professional packing be included to ensure smooth experience. These sets will be a limited production. Behind the scenes story, Chapter 1, get CIG support. I'm a huge fan of Star Citizen. Bring this. Basically, reached out to Cloud Imperium. They finally agreed to meet me, so I grabbed a ticket. They met. You showed them some samples. You signed an NDA. Put the hard work on design. Get fan supports. Engagement from Reddit. Production plan. I've secured partnership with Simba Blocks. Okay, so it doesn't specifically say that he's got a limited license from CIG, admittedly. It is implied though, because chapter 1, get CIG support. I'm assuming he's allowed to do this. I was able to sign an NDA with the CIG and get their design files and got their permission to do this as a community project as long as it is for fans and non-profit. One second. I'm just gonna talk to Zin quick. Zin, I'm live streaming. Are you there? I can't hear you because I've got my music loud. 1 second. Okay, right. So I've just seen with the Kickstarter for the thingamajig. Says I was able to sign an NDA with CIG to get their design files and got their permission to do this as a community project as long as it's for fans and non-profit. Can you just put that, make sure that is clearly visible at some point when we're talking about it? Just because I think I assert that he had a limited license from CIG, and obviously I had not verified that, but that's the statement that he's given. Because people are asking me about the legitimacy of it, and I assume it's legitimate, but obviously I've only got that. Thanks, Sin, you're the best. Say hello to the stream.
Hello to the stream.
Perfect. They love you. I think they can hear you. Maybe they can't. Who knows?
Who cares?
Well,
you joined live 1.
There you go. That's proof of life for Sin. So hopefully this, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, I like the ships. I think they're cool. I'm assuming that what he says is accurate. We'll get a CIG statement on that as well at some point. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So that's my level of journalistic responsibility done, right? Yes. We heard it just, yes. It's because I've got my the volume for Dan really low. Apologies. The stream does care. Board question: have you tried Unsettled board game? I've got all of it downstairs. I mean all of it, even the new 2 planets. I won the base set about 100. Have not got it yet, and kind of want to just order the expansions. It is great. They're all scenarios. I think there's like 2 scenarios in each as well. Well, there's multiple scenarios in each. But for that planet set. So it's very cool. I would probably try out the 4 set first because you get 2 planets in there. But it's genuinely great. It's a great co-op survival game. You're buying a trick Ironclad when DefenseCon happens. Yes, so that'll be in May. Have a look at the Kickstarter comments. Ooh. Comments. Bear with me. He's asked me where I'm hosting and when. I'll post the podcast to him. Is there a problem with any of these comments? Oh. Hey. So there's potentially a Kickstarter as a copyright infringement begun without the knowledge of consent of prop space industries Ethereum. I wrote asking when I first saw the notification here. The response, thank you for your inquiry. Also support this Kickstarter. Appreciate your care and vigilance. Oh, it's that's not actually from someone. Yeah, that's. I think that me not knowing and saying I don't really know, that's fine enough, right? That's enough journalistic responsibility. Is there any specific comments people were asking me to have a look at? The allegations are alleging there's an alleged ledger on the ledge. Gotcha. Thank you for the update on the buyback tokens. Jaybird, appreciated. So April 7th for the next set. Unsettled, great. Genuinely great. I will make sure Zina's aware if she's not already. I suspect she's watching well, she might not be watching the stream because she has to edit my voice and her voice already. I think it's unhelpful that a lot of people seem to think that PvE servers are just a big switch that can be pulled. That's fair as well, right? I just think that you can have all of the PvPers and PvEs in the same servers, or the same mega server, and just the people that want to do unlawful PvP won't be able to get into the safer zones. There'll be repercussions. There'll be security in progress, right? Thank you very much for the kind words. Generally appreciated. What is the general stability of 4.0.1 and 4.0.2 RAM? Stability-wise, pretty good. The problem is that when 4.0.2 has got loads of fixes and optimizations in, there has been some relatively big bugs, but I'm not sure if they're still holding. Let me have a quick look. What's the current known issues? So there are still problems with transit and elevators, which are the main issue, and some missions not progressing and working properly. That's the sort of main issue I'm seeing. But it's in a significantly better place than 4.0.1 was. So looks like it's going to be a pretty good release, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's certainly not a silver bullet. Certainly hasn't fixed everything, but it is getting better and better. And this is what those monthly patches are about. A spoiler warning, I've seen some leaked stats on the Perseus, which shows they've gunned up. Yes, so that's what I had as well. I had it's got a load of PDCs and stuff like that as well. Well, we'll have a look at that in a different video probably, because I want to do a little bit of research. Both were crashing when you tried to load in, Lucas. Interesting. So I had some issues with the latest GeForce drivers. I'm on 0.16. Also, actually, I'll tell you what drivers I'm on. Dude, bear with me. That is Game Pass. That is. So yeah, the latest couple of sets of NVIDIA drivers had loads of problems with me, either with Star Citizen. So I'm on 572.16. 572.16. Because the latest ones caused me to black screen every time I come out of hibernation or sleep or anything like that. And the ones before that had loads of problems with Star Citizen. So those are the ones I'm having the best time with. Also, Lucas, there's probably a few things you can try troubleshooting wise. Go to robertspaceindustriescom support.robertspaceindustries. Have a look there for your exact issue. See if it is defined rather than me trying to troubleshoot you. I played 15 hours in the last 2 days. No issues. Cool. Hauling bunkers, CZs. Not even with the elevators. I know the elevators were people having problems with. Holy moly, I had no idea you did streams. I try and stream on every Monday. I will be streaming a couple of times a week in the future as well, as soon as we get a more playable Star Citizen. I'll make sure Zin puts, we are unable to validate the legitimacy of this Kickstarter at the beginning and the end of the segment on it. There you go. I mean, I'll tell her now. I'll tell her now. 1 second, 1 second. Zin, I'm still streaming. He's there.
Yes.
Hi. People on the stream want to hear you say hello.
Hello.
Perfect. That's they love you. They genuinely love you.
Oh, good.
But also, can you put at the beginning and the end of the segment on the screen that we are not able to basically validate the validate it. We don't know if it is legitimate or not, that Kickstarter, because some people in my chat are basically saying people have contacted CIG and CIG is saying they don't support it, but I can't see evidence of that either. So
you would have thought they'd make a PSA or something.
Yeah, very quick, or get taken down very quickly. But I just want to make it very clear that we don't know the beginning and end of that segment, because I do not want to push something that is obviously basically pushing for CIG's Star Citizen copyright infringement or whatever. Thanks, Zin.
Okay.
Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye.
You joined streaming.
That's good enough.
You joined live 1.
There you go. She's real. Oh, what have I done? Zin is can be one of the most brutal people. So she will criticize and guilt me. Not guilt's the wrong word, but criticize me into doing stuff about my home. Like I got a new cutlery because she was like, this cutlery is the worst cutlery ever. Things like she can be like a scalpel He's one of my best friends in the world as well. Have you heard if they intend to make crime rep long term? For instance, when you attempt to land at a pad that says the service is revoked due to crime stat, you can still use the repair refuel. So I believe that will apply to you being able to repair refuel in the future. I think they're going to expand out sort of rep as well, so that you get cheaper and more expensive services based on your rep with places. Your rep will decline towards 0 both directions over time, I believe as well. It's possible that there'll be like soft caps on sort of reputation until you do a mission for or against certain gangs and stuff as well, though. anyone know if we're able to manually reload ballistic weapons when the resource system comes out? Oh, I see what you mean. I think ammo and magazines are going to be patchable, but I'm not 100% sure on that. That's an I reckon. Oop. Video playing right now is from 2023. B-roll, I believe. Particular B-roll we're looking at currently. When is 4.0.2 live in your estimation? Thursday would be that's my current guess. Thursday this week. That would conform with getting out, but not on a Friday, and getting out before the end of the month, the 27th. Engineering looks amazing, and I want them to get into game as soon as they can, and then I want them to really sort of drill down on playability and stability, and getting things like the flight model and combat model and ship balance all in order as well. I think that you've got engineering there. The work that you do in game has a much longer lasting effect without having to redo work. Did they fix the money dupe? Don't know. So effectively the cargo dupe, right? Not 100% sure. Zin is always a lot more angry than my mum could ever be. At least at me. I think, yeah, some people effectively would also like not just the PvE mode, but offline modes. Control type do you use these days? So, I prefer just typically mouse and keyboard just because it's easier for recording and messing around, and I'm pretty lazy. I do have a Purple Constellation Alpha set downstairs. Stick and a dual stick. The best I've ever used so far is a Purple Constellation Delta HOTAS. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to be looking at some Thrustmaster stuff. In the near future as well. But I know that Thrustmaster, VKB, and Purple, all amazing, right? Oh, so we got. That's basically next week, due to the date. Now loading screen in March. I'm expecting this week. I'm genuinely expecting it Thursday this week. We'll see though. I mean, it could easily get pushed to early March, right? A private server would allow you to get online with friends, but wouldn't let you keep other things between live sessions. They're not going to want to overly complicate stuff, right? Not more than they already have. Have you heard if they intend to make Crime Map? Long time we talked about that already. See my Spectrum thread. No, bad pirates, stop attacking the station. My take on PvPvE. I will add that to my list of things to look at. Right. Well, now I'm concerned about that Kickstarter. I suppose it's possible the gentleman misunderstood, right? As a possible, I reckon. Maybe they said, "Oh yeah, you can do it, just not for profit." Maybe he went, "Well, as long as I can run a Kickstarter as long as it's not for profit, as long as I'm not making any profit from it." It's possible. Interesting. Is there a credit wipe next patch? We don't know. CIG have not certainly not said there is. It's more likely there won't be. Roadmap update this week. What we're expecting. Thank you very much for all the kind words. Genuinely appreciated. Love you, love you. Typically, bespoke weapons are better, but not always. Hello, your content inspired me to buy Star Citizen. I'm very sorry for your loss. No. Started watching vids from this game way back in the day, but I didn't have the hardware. Luckily, I do now. Started with a Nomad ship. Any advice? Just mess around and play do what you fancy. Do the missions that you think are appropriate. Do the lower tier ones to start with. Then, once you're confident with a payout, a lower payout, or your bounties or whatever, or your cargo or deliveries, then move up. There's a huge amount to do and just look at in Star Citizen as well. Loads of FPS stuff. I mean, you can run into contested zones now, right? In Pyro if you wanted. I'm rocking verbal stuff. I can't decide if I want different throttle for space stuff or not. So it's interesting. Like, I don't use pedals. Maybe I should start using pedals as well. I honestly believe that CIG does these events during bug ring patches to entice us to test. There's definitely an element of that. I mean, they're all going to be bug ridden, right? They're alphas. I mean, it's not a defense. It's just sort of a brute fact. I recently trimmed down my play ships to have $1,000 in store credit. You monster. So it allows you to buy stuff in the future, right? I know my friends in game, but I don't know to do voice chat. I'm just go onto like Discord or something. Join an org, go on Discord, stuff like that. Nice and easy to make friends for Star Citizen. I mean, I'll be starting to play a lot more in the future. So working on the MR and BH bounty hunting 2.0 feature. For your next year question mark? I mean, we could see expanded bounty hunting this year. Possible, right? We know they've been working on it for a while. Good point. Where has bounty hunting? What a good video. Thank you. Bounty hunting. Hodas plus pedal super. Yeah, super immersive as well, right? Scorpius is a great ship. How is the Scorpius Antares different from the regular one? So, Scorpius, both variants of them are two-seater. Instead of having the turret on the top, instead got access to a quantum damp EMP. but your co-pilot has to control that. Very, very cool, very powerful. Basically, you've got a heavy fighter, great utility, and dangerous loadout of holding people there and hitting and stuff. So really, really cool. It is an EMP and dampener, isn't it? Blind. I'm not crazy saying that. My mind occasionally blends into another ship. Is it me, or is the approach of the year of stability a bit underwhelming? Yes, the game is buggy mess, but what happens when eventually features start to get added again? All the stability out the window? No, so the idea is that they're going to be phasing in features slower manner and make sure that the bugs with them are resolved in the preview or PTU builds. So you'll have your monthly releases, and then a feature will sort of get added in the PTU of the monthly release as well. Have a live release, but also parallel PTU or preview build. Put new feature in, they'll refine that and then release it later that month or the next month. So something like that. Does the Copilot still have a turret? I believe it's only the QED and EMP. Yeah, it loses its turret. Oh, you want planetary bombardment stuff with tungsten rods and stuff? Interesting. Obviously, like, it wouldn't work as well in low gravity planets, right? I'm waiting for base building to come. When do you think that will come? We'll have to wait and see. Like, originally I was expecting by the end of this year, or at least some base building stuff, but that might not be the case anymore. And we've got a roadmap update later this week, which might give us some indication, but no one currently knows. Or CIG might. Would you go Gladius or Super Hornet? I think the Super Hornet's just better. I love the Gladius as well, though. I think it's a fantastic light fighter. Super Hornet, fantastic brawler. Medium brawler. Is it feature creep if you've got enough time and money to be able to make it all reality? Yes, but I mean, they will be able to make it a reality. That's the idea. Right. I think we're pretty done. I'm going to go back and make sure there's 1,000 billion things on screen saying during the Kickstarter segment that I do, talking about the podcast, like, do you like these ships in that? I think they're cool. And me going, I backed it. I'm going to just make sure that there's we're not 100% sure if CIG are actually backing this. So we're not sure. We can only go with what's said on the Kickstarter account. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Generally appreciated. Hopefully 4.0.2 will come out later this week, and hopefully it'll be in a pretty good state. They seem to have done pretty good with ironing out those bugs. I do think they're going to be able to get a lot of stuff done in the next few months with Star Citizen. Significantly more playable. So hope that's the case. We've got Supply Die coming up. We've also got Stellar Fortuna coming up. So thank you very much for watching. Love you loads. Be aware of things